How to use MyFitnessPal for your fitness goals. Hey, I'm Matt from MattLaneFitness. Thanks for stopping by. I put out videos every week, so turn on the notification bell. That way, every time I put one out, you're gonna know about it. I love MyFitnessPal. I think it is one of the best tools for your fitness journey. Long story short, calories in versus calories out is the ultimate determining factor if you're gonna lose weight, lose fat, gain muscle. It's the end all be all. It's the bee's knees. I'm a big supporter of it. Not to mention, if you use this calorie counting app that's free from the App Store, nutrition can become effortless. You can do this flexible dieting or flexible nutrition, which means you can eat generally what you want as long as you hit your calorie goal. In this video, I'm covering 3 things. 1, how many calories do you need for your goals? How to set up your macro ratio for your body type. And don't worry, we'll cover the body type thing too. And lastly, how to scan the food or input the food into the app. So how many calories do you need? The question is, are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to maintain weight? Or are you trying to gain weight? A good rule of thumb for a safe caloric deficit or to lose weight is 300 to 500 calories. 300 is moderate, 500 is a little more aggressive. When you maintain your weight or a caloric maintenance, you're eating as many calories as you burn in one day. Therefore, you're not going to lose weight or gain weight, in theory. If you want to gain weight, the same rule applies. 300 calories to 500 calories. If you eat 300 calories, that's a moderate caloric surplus to gain muscle and weight. And 500 is on the extreme end, which when you're going that high, you can possibly gain unnecessary fat. However, don't take these rules so literal. Your body is very, very different than anyone else's. So use some experimentation with this. Okay, so you got it. You know, if you want to lose weight or gain weight. All right, let's get started. If you don't already have this app, go to the App Store and then type in MyFitnessPal. It's probably going to auto-populate. This is what it looks like. I already have it downloaded, so I'm opening it. You're going to have to set up your profile. You don't have to get too detailed with it. Make it simple. Whenever you finish that profile, come down to this tab that says More. Once you're in this tab, you have a plethora of things that you can choose from. I really don't use this app for anything else but tracking the actual calories. So you see right here where it says Goals, click on that, and now we're in. There's a few different ways to do this. First, you need to put in your current weight. Next, you want to put in your goal weight. So if you're trying to lose weight and you have a specific number that you want to get to, drop it down to that number. Next is your weekly goal. If you're working on fat or weight loss, I really wouldn't go any more than 1.5 pounds. 1 pound is the safest as far as reserving muscle. So I'm going to leave it at 1 pound. Next is the activity level. Now this is talking about your daily activity level. This really isn't referring to your training, if you're running, anything like that. So I always think about this in, what is my job? Like whatever your job is, what does it require? If you work manual labor, hardcore construction, then you're very active. If you sit at a desk all day, you're not very active. And in between there, you sort of have to gauge what it is. I'm a registered nurse, so I'm fairly active, but I always like to err on the side of caution and go lightly active because I wouldn't want to give myself more calories than I really need. So this is the next step. How to set up your macro ratio for your body type. Under nutrition goals, you want to click on calories, carbs, protein, and fat goals. So this has already told me what my calories need to be for fat loss. This is the part where we're going to set up our macro ratio for your body type. There's really 3 different types of bodies: an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph. An ectomorph is tall, lanky, skinny, kind of tough to put on muscle and weight. A mesomorph is naturally muscular and athletic. An endomorph is broad, thick, really has a tough time cutting weight, keeping fat off, but can gain muscle really easily. If you're somewhere in the middle of there, you're a mesomorph, and you can actually be a mixture of an ecto and a meso, or an endo and a meso. Don't look at this super closely, it's just a good rule of thumb. I'm gonna go with mine specifically. I'm a mesomorph primarily. For me, the best ratio is gonna be 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fat. So I'm going to set that here. Now it's set. Now, if you were an ectomorph, you would want carbs at 50%, protein at 30%, and fat at 20%. So it will look like this. So obviously, the calorie count doesn't change, it's just the ratio. And lastly, for the endomorph, carbs should be 25 to 30%, protein should be 35 to 40%, and fat should be 40%. So we'll do the carbs at 25%, we'll do the protein at 35%, and then we'll do the fat at 40%. And again, you can play with this. This doesn't have to be right on the dot. The point is just to get them somewhere in the ballpark. And honestly, throughout time, the more I've done this, the better it's gotten and the more I've learned my body. So you've got your goals set up. Good job. Coming out here, back into the home screen or the main page, you know what your calories are gonna be, you know what your macros are gonna be. Next, you wanna click on calories remaining, or just this top bar right here. You can divide this up into breakfast, lunch, and dinner to show you the ratio later on of, you know, how much you ate during lunch, how much you ate during breakfast. I really don't do that. I just pick like breakfast or one spot and then just go from there. So let's just say that I had ground beef. So I ate ground beef not long ago. It's there. Actually, let's do something else. Let's do a bagel of some sort. If you have a name brand, you can type in the name brand and it'll pull it up. So here you go. It says Dave's Killer Bread, an epic everything bagel. So it pulls it up and it tells you everything about it. It even tells you the micronutrients down here, which is extremely important. I love that piece about MyFitnessPal, not only the macros, but the micros. If you can't find the food you're looking for in this gigantic database that is MyFitnessPal, let's say for some reason you couldn't find this Quaker Oats in there. There's a scanning option. A little barcode right there. Here's our Quaker Oats. On the bottom is a barcode. It scans it and shows you what one packet is. So the cool thing is you can change the quantity right here. As many as you have, and it becomes a breeze to track those calories. Also, another thing, if you eat the same thing pretty often, it's gonna auto-populate what you ate yesterday. So this shows what I ate here recently. So you swipe this and it adds in what you ate for breakfast. Kinda cool. So if you're trying to gain weight, it's pretty much the same exact thing, just the opposite direction. You still scan the food, you still mess with the same ratios. Just make it simple, don't overcomplicate this. You want to shoot for the caloric goal, shoot for about the macro ratio like we talked about, and that's it. Keep it simple. Long-term consistency beats this short-term intensity every single time. I promise if you keep doing this, if you just keep pounding the pavement with this, you're gonna achieve the goal that you want. So keep at it. I love this app. This is single-handedly the best tool that I've ever used or found when it's come to fitness, wellness, nutrition, the whole nine. Also, under the same section where we were looking at the goals and setting everything up, before we went into the goals, at the top left-hand corner, there's a little thing that says streak, and it shows you how many days in a row you've tracked the food. I'm telling you that that has been a major motivating source for me. There's a mental piece to it that's just saying, hey, you've done this so consistently. I love that, and that's been my piece to continue doing it. You don't have to be perfect at this MyFitnessPal thing. Just try to be better than yesterday. Every day.